Welcome everyone. Welcome to
Yeah.
the Epic Hour.
Welcome, everyone.
This is the epic team that you have here. Kuda, I think you know Kuda. He was with you last week.
Yeah.
And
I
I
was
got
here.
10 complaints in my inbox.
Are you for real right now? I think
Anyway.
he's just kidding.
Anyway, welcome to this thrilling hour that we're going to have. And we've got a lot that's packed up for you today. We've got Tawanda Pastor Tawanda Maombe is going to be here. We're going to be talking about the youths, what they're doing in Parktown and Waterfalls. They've got amazing programs where they're training youths, etc., you name it. So stay tuned. And Kuda, give us a recap. What did we talk about last week?
Let's start with you. What was
No,
happening in Big
Okay.
Falls?
I had a great week. It was hot. It was like 45 degrees. I was doing a documentary there.
Okay.
And it's an amazing story that I was capturing. It's just amazing how one couple has impacted a whole village. They've got people that are now traveling the globe that have been sponsored through their work. They've built blocks for a school. They're taking kids to school. They're paying for their fees. They're clothing them and things like that. And it's just a powerful story. So I'll be sharing the links about that documentary. But it's all about how 1, 2, 3, 4 people can change a community. And then a community then, catches on to that same wave and then begin to make an impact. So I had a great week. It was really hot.
Awesome.
Really, really hot. I was afraid I was going to melt. Thank God I'm still here.
Great.
Tell me, last
Good to
week,
have you.
what did I miss?
So last week basically we were just talking about Africa.
Yep.
And that we are poised for growth.
Uh-huh.
There's quite a lot of conversation going on about Africa, how the young generation is going to make serious impact for the growth of Africa as well as...
And can you also share about the BBC ideas, how Africa is the future?
Exactly. So, like what I'm saying, Africa is the future. So at the end of the day, the young generation is the one that is going to drive Africa. Energy is at the key as well to driving Africa. Solar. Obviously, there are great opportunities to really consider. We also touched on Morocco. It is one of the biggest solar power plants in the world, and this is in Africa. Is it bigger
than the Egyptian one, the 6 by 6 kilometer?
Yes, it's bigger.
Oh.
Yeah, quite big. And the beauty of that particular system is called CSP, concentrated solar power. So basically, it's generating energy, and it's being stored as well. Whereby you're generating solar, and during the day it's being converted for usage, but at the same time they find a way of storing that energy for evening use. So instead of just like what you do with coal, it uses it's stored in salts, and there's a whole process. I think if you really want to see it, we touched on it last week. You can just have a look, a couple of video clips that talks about that. We talked about also Dubai. Dubai is building what is going to be called the biggest solar power plant.
I love Dubai.
Yeah.
Everything they do, they go big.
Yeah.
They don't cut corners. They're like us Africans. We like to go big.
Yeah. So
I think probably Dubai is supposed to be in Africa.
But then again, we are here in Africa. So, we're just saying, look, if Africa is poised for growth, then we need to really make sure energy becomes pivotal. And we have the sun 365 days a year, so we need to utilize it and go green, especially right now in Zimbabwe. I think we're at a pivotal point.
Strictly speaking, we should be generating power using solar energy. It's a
Definitely.
once-off investment. And we're always saying on this Epic Hour that solar systems, it's not an expense, it's an investment. So if you want to be smart, invest. So that's what we call the solar system. And for the next 6 weeks, we're going to be talking about Christmas. Christmas is around the corner.
Yeah.
Right, tell your wife that you're not going to buy her any clothes, but you're going to buy her a solar system. She'll love you forever. Right?
True.
And your girlfriend, don't buy her flowers, buy her a solar panel. And your boyfriend, buy him a solar gel battery or a lithium battery. Anyway.
You don't want Christmas in the dark, so that's all it's saying.
True.
You don't want Christmas
true.
in the dark, so let's do something about that.
Let's go green.
Yeah.
And then one thing that you should know is that we're going to be talking about savings today. So today we're talking about savings, and everything is going up, and it's not a Zimbabwean thing, it's not an African thing. Everything in the whole world keeps going up. Things don't go down except in Germany.
Yeah, Germany,
Except
exactly.
in Germany. Everywhere else things go up. So we're talking about savings. So if you're looking at savings, getting more out of the little that you have, the little that we have,
True.
stay tuned, because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. How you can make more money by spending less. Sometimes expand what you have. You know, like when we talk about farming in Zimbabwe, we're always talking about, small scale farming on a large scale farm, like large scale basis where it's intensive farming. Intensive is not so much how much land you've got, but how you can maximize
on the land.
I love the way Israelis do their farming. They've got deserts, they don't have much, but if you look at their turnover, they do what we call smart farming, where they've got these drones that keep going around, and then they measure that your solar epic energy is on the down low, your solar panel is a little bit low, and that kind of a thing. And this is the part that Ivan, the guy behind the desk, is supposed to switch to a commercial break.
Yeah,
but
now we're going on a commercial break.
It's too slow to catch it. It's too slow to catch it.
I think he has catch one. Good. Put down the volume, huh?
Guys, welcome back.
Yeah.
If you're listening to Billy, you always know that Billy has got these stories. So now,
tell us.
Okay, I've got permission. I was speaking to his wife, and guess what she told me? She said she fell in love with you because you save a lot.
Yeah, it's all about saving, for the future.
So when she wanted chicken in...
Okay, where are you going with this now?
Okay, I might get fired for this. Anyway.
Definitely.
Anyway, but things are going up, right? How can we save? We're talking about saving today. Now, saving means also maximizing what you have.
Yeah.
You're making it more efficient, more effective.
True.
So you've got your solar systems. I want to upgrade. How can I save? Let's talk about savings. Or let's go to the prices. Let's go to the prices of electricity. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's make it practical.
So the price of electricity has gone up.
Okay. It hasn't gone up, it's just expanded. We need to get the correct terminology.
Yeah.
Okay, the cost of electricity has expanded.
So, as I said, it has expanded. So, okay, I was talking to a client just a few days ago.
Yep.
Now, they are buying, in their area, apparently, because they are connected to a hospital section, so they are not suffocating from the power cuts.
Okay.
So,
Lucky them.
Yeah, but now the reason why they are considering to go solar.
They have space for me. Maybe I could rent a room.
I don't think so. But so they are considering to go solar. And guess what? The reason is they are spending about $1,000 a week on electricity. This is in some low density area. So it's 1,000. It's called ZWL. Is it RTGS?
You said $1,000.
Yeah, $1,000. So a month they are looking at spending about 4,000.
That guy, does he have O-level mathematics? Are you sure you can count?
Yeah, they can count.
If you're spending 1,000, listen. Okay, go on.
Yeah, so So when we're talking, I mean, really,
That's
spending
$4,000
that's
a month.
$4,000 per month on electricity, which is quite a lot. And if you convert it in US terms,
that's about
$200
Some
bucks.
people are earning $300 a month.
Yeah.
So his electricity bill is like
bill.
5,
So-
6 people plus.
Exactly. So I mean, if you're talking of $200 per month, that means in a year you would have what? How much is that? I'm not good at maths. I think
No,
about.
we shouldn't calculate
yeah.
that. That's cause for a heart attack.
Yeah, but then at the end of the day, it's the reality. So we need to talk about it. So what we're trying to say is that if you put together your resource and balance it off, maybe you can do your cooking with electricity, then you go solar on other appliances. It means you're going to save quite a lot of money. Then
Because that's about 3 times that you're consuming electricity morning, afternoon, and evening.
Exactly.
And if you're smart as well, you can just cook twice, big meal in the morning.
and it's December,
big
man.
meal in the evening. Yeah.
What happens? It's a holiday, so you need to take your family away somewhere. So save some money, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that's what we are talking about. So electricity has gone up in that space. So it's important then now to, like we were saying, this customer is now deciding to go solar. So part of the day and part of the night they're going to run their solar system. Then they switch over to electricity as and when they need it. So which is I think we are also preserving electricity for the factories and other stuff. So I think it's a good move. So when you look at it,
Yeah.
you'd rather save in the long term.
And this is one thing that we're always saying during the Epic Hour, that look, if you invest once, you've pegged your expenses for the next 10, 15
True.
years. So if prices go up, you're not affected. So for those that invested in the solar energy, they're smiling. Price goes up, yeah, we sorted that out 5 years ago, 6 years
Exactly.
ago.
Yeah.
So do the
Or 2
smart
months
thing.
ago, or 1 month ago. So
Okay. And what are you buying your wife for Christmas?
don't worry, it's already settled.
Solar panel. Okay, now
Yeah.
the other thing I want us to maybe talk about is, let's look at how to maximize your solar systems. What else can I do to get the most out of my solar system? Let's say I've got an existing system.
Right.
already.
So if you have an existing system, what's most critical is to, number one, obviously adjust your loads. It depends on the size of solution that you are going to buy. If it's not going to service all your equipment and appliances, then it's important to make sure you make adjustments. Then you live within your means. So in this case, you are talking about maybe you have 5 fridges in your home. Then just make sure you have at least 2 running
you can
at
give
any
one
given
to
time.
me. You can give one to me.
The same thing with TVs, and you have your lighting. Just make sure you do your audit. Is it energy saver? Because you want to make sure
What's the
you save as much as
the
possible.
benefit of reducing your load? There has to be a benefit, because look, if it's free sun, free electricity, why do you want me to conserve my load? What's the advantage?
The advantage is obviously you're going to run longer on your solution.
Okay, let's assume my system is big enough; it will get me to the next sunlight.
Assuming that the system will get you to the next sunlight, then but still at the end of the day, energy efficiency is always going to be very critical to make sure in terms of operationality.
Yeah, I can benefit on the lifespan of my batteries.
Exactly, lifespan on your batteries. Yeah,
So it's the smart thing to do.
it is the smart thing to do.
Hang on, isn't it people that come onto this page are only smart people because you get smart ideas? Be a good lad, invite your other people so that they also get onto the smart platform, the epic platform.
Yeah.
Tell me something. It's Christmas around the corner.
It is.
We've got promotions coming, isn't it?
Definitely true.
So guys, stay tuned.
Stay tuned,
Because-
invite each other.
Yeah, and then we're also going to have a little competition on the Epic Hour. So stay tuned and continue to like and share this page. For now, what we're going to do, we're just going to break onto a video where it's going to be talking about energy save. Do you want to introduce the video?
No, let's just go into it.
Okay, he says just go for it. Yeah,
Let's go for
Epic
it.
Way. Just go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Hi, I'm Lee Patrick Sullivan from Energy Now, and I'm here to explain to you how the 3 most popular light bulbs work. Let's start with the incandescent light bulb. The modern version of the bulb is credited with being invented by Thomas Edison more than 125 years ago. Let's get small and find out how these things work. Ah, that's better. Now, once electricity is applied to these two rods on the side here, it travels up and heats this little piece of metal called a filament. It glows red hot, and that creates light. The filament is made of a metal called tungsten. Tungsten can withstand a lot of heat, which is a good thing, because these things get hot, reaching temperatures of 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. You could fry an egg on this thing. Up to 90% of that energy is wasted through that escaping heat. So why doesn't the filament burn out immediately? Bulbs are skinny on the bottom and fat and round on the top for a reason. The fatty, bulby part allows the heat to spread out over a large surface area. The gas, which is argon in most bulbs these days, does the rest of the heat distribution. Now, compact fluorescent lights, or CFLs, have actually been around in their current form since the 1940s. You probably grew up with these lights in office buildings and hallways in school. The newfangled twisty compact type were designed to fit the millions and millions of corkscrew light sockets around the world. CFLs are a gas discharge lamp, which simply means they use electricity to excite mercury vapor. This vapor produces an ultraviolet light. But when the metallic and rare earth phosphor salt coating smashes into mercury, it fluoresces and creates a light the human eye can see. This light is in a different spectrum than the one created by the incandescent light bulb, and the softness of that light is one of the complaints people have with CFLs. Also, one of the things critics point to is the use of mercury in CFLs. That's why you should never, ever throw out a CFL in the garbage. Please take it to a certified recycling center. And the heat? Well, you can touch a CFL while it's on. By removing the heat portion of creating light, it takes about 85% less energy to light CFLs, and they last up to 8 times longer. And then there are the LEDs, light-emitting diodes. You notice I said diodes, plural. That's because just one diode wouldn't produce enough light. So a bunch of them are crammed together to get the brightness we humans need. The technology here is basically a tiny little light bulb that fits into an electrical circuit. But these lights don't use a filament. The light is created by the moving around of electrons in a semiconductor material. Since there is no filament, there is no filament to burn out, making them last a very long time. You've seen LEDs before. They make digital clocks digital. They're used in remote controls to send infrared signals to your TV, and string millions of them together and you get an LED television. In order to create the amount of light necessary, LED technicians borrowed from Edison's 125-year-old technology. They've made a rounded top. This allows for better distribution of light, and like the Edison bulb, it also helped redistribute heat over a larger surface. The LED folks also installed these little fins at the bottom of the lamp, allowing for more heat to escape and take some of the strain off the semiconductors. The result? A bright light that rivals incandescent, uses 85% less energy, and lasts 15 years or longer. I know what you're thinking. More diodes, semiconductors, fins. That sounds expensive. Well, you're right. Most LEDs that you would use in your home run about $50 per bulb. Compare that to the 50 cents you would pay for an incandescent, and it's a no-brainer what the consumer normally would pick.
Talk to me. that just went over my head.
So, yeah, so that video there, we're just talking about saving, like what we have mentioned.
Yeah.
If you are, I think it's the new norm, to do energy efficiency. Before we used to have those, TV check goes, it used to consume a lot of power.
Now the picture is great. No, trust
LED
me.
is better,
If
man.
you've tried
HD. Did you
No, it wasn't HD, but trust me, those TVs had very good picture. You could look at it from afar and the picture doesn't look funny.
Come on, now it's looking better. I'm quite certain of that. So what you're talking about here is, you've got before you had this kind of equipment. Now things have changed. Edison did his work then. Now we need the LED. It works best. It's much more brighter. So as you're going solar, these are the things to really consider. Because as we have said, as you're sizing up your system, you want to make sure you do your energy audit. Is the light bulbs right? Is my fridge the modern ones which save you power, that sort of thing.
So get rid of the old stuff.
Exactly. Then at the same time, as far as investment in solar is concerned, you end up investing in a fairly sized system instead of a humongous system, because you've got this unit that consumes a lot of power.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you don't want to get disappointed using your solar, then it's very important that to consider issues of saving. We're also talking about, we know right now people are running their water pumps on solar. Literally everything. You have your microwave, everything running on solar. So it's important to look at these, for example, pumps as well. The solar, the submersible pumps. It draws a lot of power. So if it's running off your battery, then it eventually means that it's going to drain it over. It's not going
the lifespan.
Exactly, it shortens the lifespan. So you want to make sure all those areas are addressed. Resizing either your pump, because sometimes you can have a 2 horsepower and if you only need maybe 0.75,
and it will do the job.
It will do the job. So it's things like that the people who now have solar, or as you are considering to own one, you make sure you save in that space.
I think he owes you an apology.
What apology now?
Because all he's trying to tell you is you should have common sense and apply common sense. Anyway, could I thank you so much?
No, sure thing.
And then he also mentioned about Edison. Edison was a great guy.
He was a great guy.
He did 999 experiments to get the tungsten bulb, the famous tungsten bulb. The one in there, that one, right? 999, and then the 1000th time, that's when he got it right.
Yeah.
And then one remarkable story about him is that he's also the guy behind the vinyl records. You know that?
Okay.
So his factory burnt down, and the son came running and said, Daddy, the factory's on fire. And guess what? He was like, go call your mom and tell her, come and see the biggest bonfire you'll ever see in your whole life. Now that's what I call being positive. 999 times, you still keep going on. I know. Okay, and then there's another thing, that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and hoping that it'll work. Okay, 999 times, in the 1000th time he gets it. That guy was epic, bruh. Huh?
Yeah, very epic.
And then he's got this factory on fire, and what does he say? The biggest bonfire. That's being positive. So anyway, on that epic note, it's been great having you.
Same here.
I do miss Tinashe. I prefer Tinashe. I'm not going to.
I know.
Anyway,
you'll be here
Ivan,
next week.
Can you do something, because this guy's tell me something. Is it working? Yes, it's working. Is it working? Yes, it's working. Is it working? I know it's working.
Trust Billy to do that.
Mr. Maumbe,
Yes,
Pastor Maumbe,
Mr.
nice to
Labasa.
have you.
It's good to meet you
I
too.
love the
man.
hairstyle, you know.
Thank you. I'm trying to cover up something.
You know, contrast is good. You can't have white without black. You can't have hair and no, you know. Anyway, that's just a nice breaker. Tell me, how you been?
I'm all right, man.
It's quite cool in Zimbabwe, isn't it?
It's very cool.
Yeah. I want to ask something. Anyway, Pastor Maumbe is based in Waterford. No, tell us about yourself. Let me not tell them about you.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you everything except for my age. I'm based in Waterfalls. I'm married with 3 kids and a wonderful wife, Elsie. And I'm a pastor at Movement Church, which is right at the middle of Waterfalls, which is Parktown. And I'm actually in full-time ministry. We've been in ministry for 3 years now.
Okay, that's brilliant. Today I want to talk about the youths. Now, why I really want us to talk about the youths is because that's the future.
Oh yeah.
And I think one thing where we faltered in Africa is we're always concerned about us and we're not concerned about the future generation. Okay, let me justify my argument. Right, Africans are born into debt, generally speaking. You can crucify me if you want, just find your nails, but that's the truth. Generally, Africans, and to be specific, black people, we are born into debt.
That's true.
The other cultures, what happens is you're born, there's already a trust. When you're going to school, your school fees are paid up to university. And when you mature, you've got your accountant, it's got money waiting for you to invest. So you're not starting from zero, you're starting from $1 million.
That's true.
And we start from minus 30,000 that was left to pay off by now, and the reason is because we don't think about the future. We're always thinking about myself, me, myself, and I. 3 topics, 3 subjects, 3 articles I want to refer you to. They still are slaves. I love that. A letter by P.W. Debo, I forgot. And then one of the elements that they talk about, how to sell to the Negro. If you read those 3 articles, it talks a lot about the psyche, the cycle of us that we have. And the reason has to do with we always think about us and not the next generation. That's why I feel like let's take time to talk about the youth.
That's fine.
Because if our responsibility is to take care of them, and if they're okay, when they grow up, they're not worried about where am I going to get this for this, but they're thinking about the next generation. And then we've solved a generational problem, and then we get to a point whereby they're worried about the 2nd, 3rd generation, they're not being worried about tomorrow. So what is the church doing about tomorrow, the youth?
That's fine. Thank you so much, Billy. Right, as a church, I can't talk about the youth without talking about the vision that God has given us as the movement family. Right, God gave us, I think 3 years ago, gave us a vision which comes from Matthew 28 verses 19 to 20, which says that, go ye therefore and make disciples, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them all things. Right, so our vision as a church is to go, to teach, and to baptize. So when God sent us to Waterfalls, Parktown, God gave us an idea to come up with a ministry center, which we call the Movement Ministry Center. At this ministry center, we have got it's more like a catchment area, because we have a basketball court. We also have a business that come in areas of business. We need help in areas of business, and we also have youths that come in just to sit, just to relax. So we have Wi-Fi whereby they just come in and they do their business surveys, whatever they need to do. So God really set us up on that regard, because right now we are ministering mostly to 75% of the youth in our church. Right. So now, realizing that we have mostly the youth, what we then did is we came up with a ministry that falls under the movement church, the movement wing, which is called Movement Business Forum. And we take them to the India Incubation Center, which is in Waterfalls, where they are trained various skills, right? So we have, they're trained how to make barbed wire, they are trained how to make tomato puree, they are trained how to, they're trained oil extraction, they're also trained tissue making. And also recently we have actually embarked on a new thing whereby we have qualified plumbers and electricians in the ministry. So we have actually taken through quite a number of guys as well through plumbing, training, and
it's something that, okay, I learned this, I can get my hands dirty and start earning money.
That's so true.
Because I think unemployment is a big issue. It's the white elephant we don't want to talk about. Wait. Speaking of which, what's the story here? Anyway, so you're empowering, and then what about the sports side? What do you have going on the sports side?
Right. On the sports side, we have quite a lot that is happening. We have a basketball team that is actually in the Harare Basketball League, which is called, our basketball team is called The Preachers. They're doing quite well. They play every weekend, right? And we also have...
Soccer players got a scholarship to the States.
Oh yes, we've got one chap who's actually here for a winter break, but he'll be heading back in December, or early next year rather. And God is doing quite a lot when it comes to sport. So it's actually a tool that God is using, that God has given us to evangelize.
Do you know one thing I like about your sports drive is we tend to worry a lot. Why don't you son to go strike? But we forget the other part as well, about that sports is a career. Now, if your son was playing for Manchester United, come on, you'd be like, and it's a career that actually people can earn from, and it's a good thing.
That's true.
But what challenges have you been facing?
Right, mainly, right, I don't know if I can call it a challenge, but because I feel that's what God has really called us for. Like I said, it's a tool, right? So as a church, we are having to deal with, people who are coming from the world, that is what God has really called us to do. Right, so I don't want to call it a challenge, because that's what God has put us for in Waterfalls. So it's a tool that is really doing its work when it comes to evangelism. And it's really harvesting big time. I also forgot to mention karate. We also have karate that is happening. We had our team recently in South Africa, and they're also planning next year to go to Germany. And a number of our guys, they came back with trophies and awards. Oh yes, God using karate for the kingdom.
I think it's a good thing. It's radical, it's dynamic. So how do people get in touch with you? Suppose, let's say they've got more questions, want to find out more. Because you've got already a very vibrant, dynamic youth initiative. You're training people on hands-on practical things. They're going for karate. Oh yeah. How do people get in touch with you?
Right, on our Facebook page, you can just type Movement Church. Likewise, Instagram, Movement Church. You can get hold of all the work that we are doing.
Okay. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kabasa.
Any few words, any last words before you...
Right. Any last words? Well, okay, he's putting me on the spot. Any last words? Well, I'm an evangelist, so I would say to you that, Christ died for all of us. So this is high time that we all heed to his call. It's time to heed to the... Amen.
Right, there you have it. Me and Pastor Mohammed. And after this, I'm going for a karate lesson. As we go on a commercial break, and Ngoni is about to come.
All right.
telling you that we are always bringing celebrities here, and people don't listen.
Where's the celebrity? I don't see the celebrity.
We've been waiting to get him on the show. You really don't want to know. And anyway, it's good to have you. If you've watched Sins of the Father, he's the culprit.
Guilty as charged.
State of Malambia, you're in there.
Yep.
You're also in another upcoming film called City.
Yep.
Right. But what else have you done? He's also in Wenera.
Yeah, I'm on Wenera. I'm on Wenera as Razor, the one-eyed guy.
Okay.
I've been on Love Like This, Think. There's been quite a few movies and a few TV shows along the way. Like a good woman should. Yep.
And anyway, Ngoni's been in a lot of production. And today we want to talk about the film employment. It markets the country. America is big, not because it's got Donald Trump. Is that his name?
You're right on that, yeah.
But because of Hollywood.
Yep.
And if Zimbabwe is going to be big, whether you like it or not, it's our film industry.
Yep.
It's the film industry that sells the image. Swag is everything. The film industry is everything.
Think about it, Americans, every time you watch an American movie, you know, it's
you
American products in there. You know, you want to go there. You know, they make a Chevy look cool. They make it take a curve, you know, swerving around the corner. You think, I want to drive that. So they sell their culture, they sell their products. And that's what, you know, that's part of what makes America great.
And that's Zimbabwe and there's Africa. We're supposed to be pushing our brand. Are we failing?
I think we've let down the local audience by not making our products available. I think distribution is an issue. We've got wonderful productions that have been shot in Zimbabwe. But if you ask the common person on the street, have you watched this movie? They don't even know about it. They might have heard about it, but they don't know, one, where to access it, where to purchase it. And even if they can purchase it, sometimes the fees are exorbitant. I mean, for most people, most filmmakers out here launch their movie at a premiere event. You've probably got a limited seating of about maybe 2,000, maybe 1,000 max. And then that's the last time we hear about that movie. Maybe a couple of more screenings, but how does someone in Kadoma, how does someone in Chegutu, how does someone in Vic Falls, how does someone in Bindu, we've got Dio that was launched recently. I mean, we're still ironing out the kinks, but I think if us filmmakers make a move to make films.
Dio, let's be honest with you, I hope someone from Dio is watching. Their approach to Zimbabwe was completely wrong.
It could be wrong, but it doesn't mean that it can't be fixed, or it doesn't mean that us as filmmakers can't do something about it.
They've put a barrier where you can't deal with them. They've got these two intermediaries who the filmmakers don't want to deal with for personal reasons, which they never ever, try to find out. Hang on, are these the right faces to put in front?
Okay, but then as filmmakers, why wait on someone like Dio or a whole organization to come up with a distribution? Consumers down because they're hungry for this content. I bump into people all the time. Oh, I watched you in this, I watched you in that. When is the next production? I'm like, I just walked off of a set 2 days ago. I was on a set 3 months ago, 5 months ago, a year ago I was on a set. So we are working, but then if the people can't access the product and they don't even know about it, we have a problem. We're not marketing our product, we're not making it available to the people, and we're not making it affordable. Because $23, $30, $50 a ticket for the common person, that's a lot. I want to take my girl out on a date to watch a movie, I have to shell out $100 just to watch a movie, plus transportation, then food, then
and popcorn
is not cheap. And in this heat, you need about 10 soda cans. Events where people can come out as a crowd, have a good time, and enjoy local content. Because it's not that people don't appreciate a local content, we're just not making it available. That's my opinion.
And we need to do something.
Yeah, so we need to challenge ourselves. I'm going to challenge you, and you need to challenge me to come up with a solution.
Okay, sold. And now, let's talk about solar energy.
Yeah.
The film industry.
Talk about epic energy.
Yeah, let's talk about epic energy.
Yeah.
What's been the challenge? Because I think you have a lot of people saying we can't shoot because there's no electricity, but the sun is there.
We have all the sun, we have all the wind, that we can make.
And you're still thinking, should you move from electricity or should we go to solar energy when we make our production?
I'm not aware of all the solar products that are out there, but I do believe that there are solar products that can make it, possible for filmmakers to actually go on set, shoot their productions, and but then I think a lot of the time we focus so much on getting having the best camera. Someone will spend 10,000 euro purchasing a camera. But they've already got 3 other cameras, HD cameras that they can use, but then now you've got no lighting and no production. So instead of concentrating on the 10,000 euro camera, that's the #1 priority on your budget, right? Use the cameras that you have, hire cameras, hire equipment, but purchase your own solar, equipment. To Zimbabwe, I think even, Southern Africa or South Africa has also been affected. So we need to look at innovative ways to stay ahead, because if we keep making excuses, I don't think we're going to get anywhere. That's one thing it's a value that was instilled in me from a young age, that you don't make excuses, because then you just give birth to,
We need solutions,
yeah,
not
to
excuses.
be complacent and we don't move forward. Oh, there's no power, so let's wait until power comes back. Meanwhile, you've got a crew of 50 people waiting there. They need to be fed. They've got lives to lead. They also need to go back to their families and carry on with their lives.
Instead of just picking up the call and saying, Epic Energy, can you hook us up a power system for this particular set? And we'll bring a mobile rig. To your thank Amon Matambanato. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Kuda Kwashe Wellington Munemu. Thank you very
What's
much.
up, Kuda?
And he's also behind the camera smiling. Right. And then Cletus Zimbali. Thank you very much for joining us today. But DJ Born again, thank you for joining. Roderick Chauke, Nyasha Zashe, Western Parano. It's good to see you, Nkoma Western. And who else? Kay Wunda, Otis Bosha, and everyone else that's been watching that came in and passed through. Thank you so much for watching, and continue to stay tuned. And remember, we've got promotions coming this year, especially for good. Right, what are you buying your girlfriend?
I'm buying her
solar panel.
Solar panel, not just a solar panel. I'm gonna call Epic Energy. I want, I want an epic, a solar engagement ring. Right, solar-powered engagement ring. It saves energy during the day, and then in the dark, the bling just blings out, just to show, just to celebrate the love that we share. So I'm going to challenge Epic Energy to come up with a solar engagement ring, and I'm going to propose to my boo live on solar cameras and solar lighting, in a solar setting, and I'm going to get down on the knee and I'm going to propose. But that ring needs to be there.
It's going to be an epic proposal.
Epic proposal, hosted by Epic Energy.
Don't buy presents.
Get
buy a
solar.
solar panel, buy a solar inverter, buy a battery, buy something solar related. Because you don't want Christmas without electricity. You can't have Christmas without electricity. And I'm just hoping that Ivan will just kick me out, because I'm going to be talking about Christmas gifts, solar gifts.
And don't forget to buy local content as well to enjoy when you get your solar TV and your solar energy. Buy local content.
You're taking my show.
That's what that's what so-called celebrities do. All right, cool. Sorry for that.
Hi, my name is Kuda, one of the solutions expert at End Household.
One reason why people just keep coming for us for service is because of how we work. We believe that you have to get it right the first time. We believe in not taking shortcuts. Everything has to work, everything has to be perfect.
We don't compromise on quality. All our premier packages come with warranties and after-sales support. Wherever you are, whatever your energy needs, Epic Energy will come to you. We'll make it work.
And imagine if you could enjoy uninterrupted power supply 24 hours a day.
This year, we are so excited about the product that we have, which are more cost-effective and more efficient.
Opportunities do not make appointments, so don't miss out. Give us a call.